Hello humans, this is Random Wizard and welcome to the Random Channel. Today we're going to be playing Medieval Fantasy Rogue's Choice. I almost again said Wizard's Choice. I don't know, this has been happening for like 3 chapters now. I just continuously say Wizard's Choice as soon as I start the shit. But here we are, chapter 15, A Higher Power. Rogue's Choice chapter 15 by Sam Landstrom. So last time we were at House Ruda here. We killed a bunch of people, almost got killed ourselves. Then Rekka, who was not a mermaid. It says a mermaid, but I think Rekka is not a mermaid. She's a water spirit. There's a difference. So whatever. Rekka, water spirit, saved us, and then we are burying our golden stuff in the ground now. I think it says right here, you're busy burying newfound treasure. So we're burying that, and we're gonna be moving on to Castle Engrain. Was it Engrain? And we're gonna find the bitch. Why do you work with them? You say as you dig a hole in the dirty sand near the river. The hole is less than 2 feet deep and the bottom is full of muddy water. With the house you mean? Says Rekka. Look up from your work. Rekka is leaning out of the river's edge. Forearms and naked breasts rest on the sand. Her tail has gone, replaced by shapely legs. Her pale skin is colored pink by the setting sun. You nod, yes. Why would you and the merfolk work with House Ruda here? Another explosion draws your attention to Ring City in the distance. What exactly is the battle? A battle, you think. The answer is laid out before you, she says. The river. Water pours over her face as she smiles sadly. Humans enjoy the river. It brings them life, so they live near it, as people always have. It is also natural for them to befoul it with sewage and waste, as is convenient for them. The house protects the river with their laws, and in return we aid the house. You cannot protect the river yourself? You say, resuming your dig. I highly doubt they can, like every single person would. We tried. Indeed, our wrath was such that we would drown anyone we could when given a chance, adding souls to our ranks. This only made people fear and hate the river, yet they could not leave it. People learned to stay out of the water, yet they would still use the river for their purposes, more callously than before. Worse, they called upon their gods, some of them most terrible and foul. Town and city authorities did nothing. The people's waste flowed downriver, no longer the concern. It was not until we struck a deal with the house that people finally listened. There is a law that extends over the land and into homes and hearts. There's no avoiding the reach of House Ruda here. I mean, that is good that they're protecting environment. That's good at least. Imagine such a bargain is costly, you say. You've seen it yourself, she says. We serve them. The river belongs to Ruda here. Every captain who plies these waters knows this, although they will not speak of it. Below the water, we carry out House's errands, moving slaves, worst thing, all for their profit. It seems to me that House should treat such valuable allies with great respect, you say as you heap your treasure into the hole. What did the house add insult to your kind with that toad demon? A cruel reminder, says Rekka. They control us not only with protection, but also with threat. The Hezro demon. So the toad demon or Hezro demon. So it's a species? The Hezro demon are from a layer of abyss, so foul that she adds as water courses out of her eyes. A few barrels worth poured into our mother, and Rekka's face falls in grief. She slips underwater. Oh, so the Hezro demons are so fucking disgustingly dirty that their bile and all that stuff, if that stuff is poured into the river, it will immediately pollute the river, like beyond a certain normal extent that people do with like, washing clothes and shitting in the river or whatever. Rekka, you whisper as you push sand over your treasure. You crawl to the water's edge. She is there, barely visible in the fading light, hair billowing through her pale skin. She surfaces, rises up. Her lips press against yours. She is so warm. She tastes sweet. Without thinking, you suck in the water. It warms you from the inside. You suck harder, greedily. She rises further out of the water, pushing you onto your back. You quiver as she lies over you. Steam rises around you. You groan with pleasure as hot, sweet water pours over you. I still don't understand what is with the water bullshit. Like, what exactly is happening here with the water? Like, I still don't understand the warming thing she did for Darren, and like now this warm water bullshit she is doing right now. Like, I mean, is it like an onsen? Does it feel good, like as in the sense of like, because the way they explain it sounds like we're gaining some sort of like sexual pleasure from it. But the way it's written, it sounds like it's just like an onsen or something. You're just getting into warm water, and that feels good in that sense. So it's kind of confusing. You groan with pleasure as hot sweet water pours over you. What a wonderful river, you say. You must sound like an idiot, but you don't care. Flowing love, you whisper as you kiss her. Run your hands over her hot, soaking skin. You want to find a way to pleasure her, but you're unsure how. Her body shifts when you press on it, drenching you with gouts of hot water. You're not sure what you're even touching. May I drink, you mumble? Do as you will, she whispers. You lick and suck upon her skin greedily. The water is sugary and nourishing. Later, maybe minutes, maybe an hour, you must have climaxed. It feels like you did. You cannot remember the moment. As you drift out to sleep, you vaguely wonder what happened to your seed. That is a very confusing line. What the hell is this? So it cannot be an hour. There's no way we're just sitting there for an hour sucking water. I mean, your stomach would not be able to hold that much. So maybe minutes. And after that we climaxed and our seed disappeared. What happened here? Life increases 3. When you awake, Rekka is gone. Somehow the clothes you're wearing are dry. Night has fallen. The half moon above provides the only light. After looking around, confirming no one is nearby, you chuckle. Gods, I have been fortunate with the ladies lately. I mean, unfortunate and fortunate. Believe me, some of them can be very fortunate and some of them are just absolute fucking... Oof. I mean, most of them are. I wouldn't say you're fortunate with the ladies. You should say that I am unfortunate with the ladies, considering the type of ladies we've been running into. You wish Agra was still with you, so you could go about your run of luck. Rekka, you call, not very loudly. Rekka, you read louder this time. There's no answer. You crawl over the sand, stick your face down into the river water like an animal getting a drink. Rekka, you call again, this time under the water. You were meaning to ask her to give you a ride up the river to Fortress Igraine. To stand up, dust off your clothes on a small beach. You're on a small beach. The land consists of... So did she move us from some place to someplace else? We were not on a beach last time as far as I remember. I mean, then again, we were playing with sand, so maybe we're on a beach. The land consists of stumps and small hills of long grass. Close as you are to Ring City, all the trees have been taken. The cutting fields, you believe the locals call it. You cannot see the road from here, but you assume it's just closed. The road mostly follows the river, from what you understand. You consider what to do now. Even on foot, you're only about a day and night away from Fortress Igraine. Supposedly, Kriya is in sight of those ramparts, but at least she was when Azazel cried upon her. So would she know, by the way? Why do I feel like our wizard boy in Wizard's Choice figured out that someone was spying on him when he felt like he was getting watched or something like that? So would she be able to tell that she was getting watched or something? I suppose so, we'll see. Peering around a nearby thick stump, you look off to Ring City. It's on fire. You could go back to Ring City as a hero. Perhaps you can be on service. Oh, we are not a hero. We are a weakling. You need to understand that, our boy Nikolai Shade. You think, without Agra to hide and protect you, Thog's evil will follow you, and Ring City appears to have enough problems at the moment. Better I lead Thog's attention elsewhere, you think. You would like to track down Kriya before she moves on. You could set out on the road now. You kept a large sum of gold from your stash to buy a horse or pay for a ride in a wagon. There are bound to be people fleeing the city by road. Alternatively, you could stay here and hope that Rekka returns. Maybe you can convince her to give you a ride upriver. Absolutely not. Why would I take any more favor from her? I think I'm gonna start on my own to Fortress Igraine. Best I keep moving, you think. It's hard to hit a moving target, and with Thog after you, you're feeling even more like a target than usual. As expected, the road is not far from the river. The road northeast of Ring City is relatively wide and well maintained. This road connects Ring City to the farmlands of the Bountiful Plains. Beyond that, from what you understand, the road gets rough and dangerous. Fortunately, you're not going that far, and House Igraine is a civilized place. You can see the road well enough, and with moonlight and only stumps and higher grass hinder your sight. Looking down the road towards Ring City, there are throngs of people coming your way. Likely you will find out soon enough. Horses are coming. A trio of men shout at you to get out of the way as they pass at full gallop. What's the news? You shout back, but they don't answer. You sigh and begin walking quickly after them. I may have to steal a horse, you think. You pat your cloak and jingle the gold you kept from the stash. For once you might not have to steal a horse. Of course, you need someone to slow down enough to negotiate with them. You have a feeling amount will be expensive given the chaos. Several wagons also pass, their horse teams panting and straining, already exhausted. You hold up gold, but they pay no heed. Why would I hold up gold? So that they would stop and attack us? Well, I guess they are civilized people, for the most part, I can tell. It is some time before you see a man riding ahead of a wagon traveling slow enough that you think you have a chance of stopping him. The man rides towards you at a slow gallop. The moon reflects off a bright tunic. Maybe it would be yellow in proper light, probably a merchant. He seems to be keeping pace with a wagon 20 meters or so behind him. Seeing you, he draws a thin rapier that glints in the moonlight. It is not much of a weapon, more an ornament for gentlemen. What news of Ring City? You call, holding up gold coins in the moonlight. Stay clear, he shouts, waving his rapier without breaking pace. A wide-eyed woman with a voluminous billowing dress is driving the wagon. A small face peeks out from inside the wagon. What do you shout to them? Behold the hero of Ring City. Stop in the name of Aletheia. I have gold. I mean, that's more than likely works. I don't know. I mean, the author is pushing the hero thing. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I mean, heroes are always cringed. You know, you understand that, right? But on top of that, I feel like no one really gives a shit about the fact that we are a hero. Nicolas Cage have gold. That sounds more appealing than Nicolas Cage is a hero. So it seems like this already saw the gold though. So they're not really paying attention to the gold, despite the fact that we held up gold. So I'm just gonna say, behold the hero of Ring City. That's kind of cringe, but let's go with that. Behold the hero of Ring City, you shout. The man looks over at you for a moment, then turns his attention back to the road. No doubt you don't particularly look like a hero in your drab, tattered cloak. Okay, desperate not to allow yet another ride to get away, you run straight at the wagon, leap onto the side, grabbing the handfuls of rough fabric and hauling yourself up. The woman driving the wagon shouts an alarm as you begin transversing along the side towards the driver's deck. She stares at you with wide, terrified eyes before your head disappears from view. Her head disappears from view. I thought my head got chopped off for a second. Why did her head disappear from view, by the way? Moments later, the woman appears again, this time with a loaded crossbow aimed at you. Before you can leap off the side of the wagon, she fires. Despite shooting you at nearly point-blank range, the bolt only grazes you, slicing the side of your neck. Blood runs down into your shoulder as you climb the rest of the distance to the deck. The woman pulls up on the reins, lurching the wagons to a halt. You have to hold tight to the wagon. You have to hold tight to the wagon to not fall off. She screams as she fumbles with the crossbow. The man on the horse is riding towards you, his rapier at the ready. I mean no harm, you shout as you raise your hands. The man rides past, swinging his rapier. You duck, yet it is unnecessary. The tip whizzes past you, out of reach. I need only information and a ride. You pull out your holy symbol out of your tunic. See, I am of Aletheia. The woman, who is still fumbling with her crossbow, looks up at your holy symbol. Die, brigand. The man shouts as he struggles to wheel his mount around, preparing for another pass. Emmeline, run. He's a holy man, says the woman you presume is Emmeline, and I will not leave Betty. I am a holy man, you announce, puffing out your chest, and Aletheia smiles upon Emmeline, the good woman. You smile at her. She smiles back uncertainly. I go by the name of Rooster of Windborne. Rooster, says the man, brandishing his rapier. That is the name of brigand, away from my wife. Perhaps I should have used a different name, you think. Truth be told, Rooster is growing on you, though. You climb down from the wagon, grab the tackle of the closest horse. Everyone knows that a rooster is a most holy bird. The color and confidence of a rooster is a joy to Aletheia. You announce, raising your chin proudly. It is not the name given me by my father. Nay, it is the name given me by her holiness. The man looks unconvinced, and Emmeline is tense, like she's about to snap the reins at any moment and lurch forward. You not see my holy symbol, you say, holding it up for the man to see. Such would burn an evil man. Emmeline leans over to see better from her perch on the wagon deck. I do not blame you for shooting me, you say to Emmeline in a consoling voice. I know I frightened you. You bunch up your cloak and press it against the side of your neck, stemming the blood. Need you more proof? You draw your weapon. You draw your sword with your free hand. It is a paladin's weapon, as is plain to see. The man backs up his horse as though afraid of your weapon. Emmeline turns and shouts, stay still, into the back of the wagon. Give me light, you whisper to the sword. The blade does nothing but shine dully into the moon's light. Sheath the sword and put up your hands. I but ask the news of Ring City, you say. She burns, demons and monster coming straight up from the ground itself, says the man. Duke's castle, you ask. He shrugs. We live in the middle ring. We were cut off from the center ring and the protection within, says Emmeline. Goblins were coming out of the sewers in the center. Oh, it's the goblins that were living underneath. Why are they attacking all of a sudden? Goblins were coming out of the sewer in the center ring anyways. We decided it's safer to flee the city altogether, says the man. I shall go with you then, you say. I'm sure there is room in your wagon. The man furrows his eyebrows at you. Shouldn't a warrior of Aletheia be going that way? He points towards the ring city. Aletheia prompts me otherwise, you say. She prompts you to run away from the fight, says the man. She prompts me to gather allies from the lands of Egrain, you say, saying your most indignant tone. You're going north at the fork, not east, says the man. You nod. Well, let us not waste any more time. The man trots over to the wagon. Emlyn leans over and whispers to him, but the wind carries her word. He does not look like an evil sword. The evil sword sometimes doesn't, answer the man. You could use a sword for protection, he says. What do you think this is? He says, shaking his rapier. In your hand is nothing but an expensive back scratcher, she says. She turns and calls over to you. It is decided. We shall carry you to the fork.